QueenCityPodcastNetwork.com.
Yo, what's cracking, Panther Nation, PNP family, what's good? Dave, man, no football this weekend, very stress-free. Didn't have to worry about the Panthers taking the L, so it was a good weekend for your boy. How about yourself, Dave?
We should play Sweet Carolina off principle. We didn't lose.
That's big dub for not losing.
Yo, I didn't really watch that much football, to be honest with you. I mean, I kind of, my son's birthday party was Saturday, so we had that thing rolling, and Sunday I did the fantasy show in the morning, and I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna chillax. So that's exactly what I did on Sunday. I heard about some of the games.
I watched a little bit. I tuned in here and there, a couple of games. Watched a little bit of the Bucks Falcons game. I tuned in there a little bit of everything. Caught up with a little bit of everything, man. But it was just good to not have to watch the Panthers and be frustrated and scream and just chill. So I appreciate the bye week. It was good for me. Shout out to Charlotte. Charlotte had a breast cancer walk that I participated in. That was dope. Know a couple survivors. I know one survivors in particular. So shout out to her. She was out there, man. Yeah. So good weekend for your boy. Didn't do much, just chilling. Yeah. So outside of that, man, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I literally took advantage to relax. It's been a crazy couple weeks, so I said, since there was no Panthers to stress me the hell out, I took advantage of my Sunday. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I took advantage of my Sunday. And now I'm prepping to get ready to head down to Birmingham on Thursday. I'm going to the Magic City Classic. So it's I'm trying to get ready to go down for that. Yeah, I know how y'all felt about when I said Magic City before. It's not in Atlanta. It's in Birmingham, Alabama. So it's going to be a pretty good event. It's an all-weekend affair. So it's going to be pretty cool.
I think you should elaborate on exactly the game you're attending so people aren't confused. Who's playing, Dave?
Alabama A&M versus Alabama State. It's the largest HBCU classic in the country. So it's going to be close to 70,000 fans there.
No, that's bigger than the Florida Classic?
It's bigger than the Florida Classic. It was the highest attendance game.
Look
it up. Look it up.
I don't believe that.
Dog, Alabama and A&M and Alabama State, it's serious. They play in Legion Field. It was the highest attendance game last year. It tends to be the highest attended game every year. I mean, there's occasional, even last year with Dion in Jackson, it still was the highest attended game of the season. So, it should be a good event. So,
shout out to A-Cash says without Panthers game this weekend, the blood pressure was real low. Shout out to A-Cash, man. Appreciate that. King Murph said, damn, the Panthers got Dave going to Magic City. Man, be like that sometimes.
Be like that sometimes. I almost did take a rendezvous to Atlanta on the way, but I'm not going to.
Shout out to Kev, man. Running to Dave.
Running to me, man. I'll be at the Classic. I'm gonna hit the parade. I'm going to the parade in the morning. I'm gonna go to the band. I think they're gonna do something with the bands right after. No, I'm gonna be in tailgate, and then I'm gonna head to the game. The game kickoff at the game, I think it's 2:30 Central because they're on Central Time over there. So I'll be around. I'll be in them streets. I ain't partying though. I heard about Birmingham, man. I ain't gonna be out here partying in the streets.
Nah, definitely not.
But I'm gonna hit some of these local eateries. And then I'm going to get some drinks, and I'll go to the game. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do this boxing match, though, because I want to see this Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. I really want to see how this goes. I think everybody knows what's going to go like, but we're going to see.
Wade Land says Panthers undefeated on bye week since 1995.
You sure we didn't lose on the bye week?
Can't lose on your off day, man.
Sure you can. People can get fired on their off day. Why can't you lose on your off day?
It's true.
It's all about perspective.
Facts. This is the warm-up, Dave. Dave got his A&T shirt on. So Dave is going to Magic City Classic to warm up for the real show in a couple of weeks, which is G-Ho. Shout out to all the Aggies in the building. We will commence upon Greensboro, North Carolina, November 4th. It's going to be fantastic. So if you're in the area, come out to A&T. Come through A&T's campus.
They ain't no tickets to the game. It's sold out in September, but hey, you can come through for the tailgate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, come to the tailgate. Come to the plots. Come through. Everybody's welcome to come to the blue and white plot. Yeah, I mean, come through. It's a blast. It's gonna be fun. So come through A&T. It's gonna be, man. It's gonna be lit. G-Ho, greatest homecoming on earth. It's gonna be lit. November 4th. We're gonna be out there. I'm gonna be on the grill. Be on the grill.
You tailgate? You tailgating again?
Yeah, well, we cooking at the plot.
Oh, they're allowing it again. Thank God.
We're just merging. We just merging.
Good.
Yep. Yeah, man. So yeah. So with that said, man, let's go ahead and get to some content because I got a hard stop at 9:15 because I got another meeting. So we're gonna get through this.
Man,
But again,
you know. Let me tell you something. You know you're busy when you got meetings at 9:15.
I got a hard stop at 9:15.
Yo, I got a hard stop too as well, man. Like there's a lot of HBCU stories that went down. I want to hop on somebody's space and talk about it. So yeah, let's do this because they ain't really too much. It was a bye week, you know. We
still got some fun content though. It's some fun content to talk about. So it's still gonna be a good show. Tune in. It's gonna be great. Hang in there. We only got 200 people watching. That's kind of low for right now. But it's all good.
They on their bye week too, Rashad.
I'm assuming it'll ramp up. It's facts. It'll ramp up though. It'll ramp up. So shout out to everybody that's here. Hit that like button, and then on the way here, hit that like button on the way in. But pursue your dreams, radiate positivity, overcome an obstacle, work hard, and love what you do. Stay on the prowl. And let's get into a couple of some of the news stories that occurred while we were on the bye week. So let's get into this, Dave.
Let me get this real fast. Shout out D'Angelo Legend, the best classic, the Bayou Classic. My dad used to go to that classic every year, bro. I still haven't gone to one. But nah, I know that's a family affair too. For those who don't know what the Bayou Classic is, that's Southern University versus Grambling University. They play Thanksgiving weekend. Outstanding game that they play every year. So yeah.
All right, so stay on the prowl, man. All right, so David Tepper actually spoke this weekend. Shout out to Diana Rossini of The Athletic. She was able to get a hold of him. And she asked him about said play calling switch. And basically Tepper summed it up in this short sentence. Whatever can put us in a good position to win, Dave. That's all he said. That's all he said. So Dave, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on David Tepper's words? I was one to saying that, hey, if we went 0-6, Dave Tepper got to say something, and that's what he said. He's a man of few words. I guess he's so focused on that soccer team. Shout out to Charlotte FC going to the playoffs. That's dope. Charlotte is a soccer city.
I'm laughing at the fact. That's why somebody tagged me on that. I'm laughing at the fact. I should have worn my Charlotte Soccer City shirt. I'll wear it next week.
You should have wore that today.
I'll tell you how much out of the loop I've been all week. It's hilarious to the fact that David Tepper became the owner of the Carolina Panthers, and he created the soccer team, and the soccer team got to the playoffs before the Panthers had.
In 2 years. In 2 years.
They were close last year, even with all the turmoil that was going on with the soccer team, with leadership. So that is wild to me. And you guys got the gall to come at me when I said I expect to win the division this year.
A-Cash said Shaw got a hard stop at 9 because he got a meeting. Dave got a hard stop at 9 because it's past his bedtime. Yeah, we'll see if Dave can stay up this time around.
Well, I'm drinking moonshine, so we'll see how it goes.
Bro, you definitely should not be drinking at all, bro. But yeah, shout out to Charlotte FC, man. They are definitely going to the playoffs. And David Tepper, again, man of a few words. Yeah, whatever puts us in a position to win is what he said. And hopefully it does put us in a position to win because I'm tired of losing. So
you remember when I asked the question how you felt about him meeting with the coach every week?
What did that mean? What did I got to do anything?
I mean, very short answer tells me that. I mean, I said it when they made the decision that them meetings are more than just meetings, man. He could have probably walked up and been like, Frank, maybe you should give the play call and do this to Thomas. See it, shake it up a little bit and see what happens.
According to Reich, it was his decision and his decision solely. Okay. So that's what Reich said. I'm just telling you what Reich said.
I know what Reich said. I remember what you told me what Reich said. So we'll roll with it.
We'll roll with it. So again, that is David Tepper and his short words. Again, I can understand he's probably super frustrated. Don't want to talk about it until we get these dubs. But yeah, man, it is what it is. So, all right, let's move on. So word on the street, Dave, is that the Carolina Panthers were in fact looking for a wide receiver, and not just a mid wide receiver, a notable wide receiver. Shout out to Josina Anderson. She comes out and says, "Hey, a couple of notable names. One of them very notable came up in internal discussions in Carolina. Seems like that has cooled off for now, based on cost and comfort. I'm pretty sure one of those wide receivers would not have been agreeable. That's funny. I'm sure one of those wide receivers would not be agreeable. And she says, I also think one signing may be on the horizon next week. And she said that on October 20th. So,
well, we got a couple days left this week.
Yeah, it is what it is. And just to elaborate on that, I heard that one of those names was Devontae Adams. That was one of the names that were discussed, and potentially, and again, I take it with a grain of salt because Scott Fitterer says he's in on every deal. He calls a lot of people, and I'm sure that was one of the names that they kind of just inquired about. That doesn't necessarily mean anything was imminent. They just picked up the phone and said, "Hey, what's good with Devontae?" And that means we're looking. So basically, that's it. Any thoughts on that, Dave? Any thoughts on us looking for wide receiver one?
We had a wide receiver one.
Dave, you like going backwards. You like going backwards.
I like going backwards.
Forward.
I like going backwards because that causes us to not go forward. He out here trying to give up a 2025 first round pick to go get a wide receiver, bro. Like if he out here calling for, that's probably why it said it was too much. The cost was too much because to get Devontae Adams is gonna cost you a first round pick.
Cost and comfort.
So, I mean, when you give up a first round pick that you can't even offer the one you have from last year, so that's funny.
That is funny.
That's
very funny. Very funny.
But I mean, everybody want to talk about the past, but like it just doesn't look good when you trade your wide receiver one, and then a couple months later you out here, oh yeah, we got to go find a wide receiver one. That's problematic. So that's why I am the pass. So if you want to get at the pass, I'm fine with that.
Well, in theory, it makes sense because you gave up wide receiver one to finally fix your quarterback position.
Sure.
So in theory, it makes sense. The execution, but the result.
See, that's the thing. When you but you didn't just give up your wide receiver one. You gave up your wide receiver one and a first round pick. So you need to win. And now you're about to give up. Now you're willing to give up more draft capital to get a wide receiver one when you had one.
Not necessarily. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But
okay,
you would have to give up you would have to give up draft capital to get a true, legit, proven wide receiver one. That's correct. But
if you want a Devontae Adams, you got to give up draft capital. If you want Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton, you ain't got to give up as much draft capital, but it ain't going to necessarily fix your problem.
I'm not even talking about that one. We're going to talk about this a little bit later, but I'm talking about potentially drafting one in next year's draft. I don't think you necessarily need to get one in round one. You. But yeah, we're speaking the same language. We're just talking past each other. But yeah, I agree with your point. Yep. Wide receiver one, it's a problem. It shows up on the field. Guys are not separating. Adam Thielen's the only guy we have. And as I stated 1,000 times, if Adam Thielen's our wide receiver one, we're in trouble. And here we are, 0-6 with a struggling offense. All right. So looking for wide receiver one. The word on the street is that we were. Okay, we were trying. And it's not going to happen. So really quick, injury updates. Now, couple pieces of news dropped today.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys have shifted to injured reserve, which is going to mean that they're going to miss 4 games. So Jeremy Chin, Yetur Gross-Matos, which both of these guys are on essentially contract years. It sucks for both of them. And Giovanni Ricci, shoulder, that's y'all boy. I'm sure we'll miss him dearly, according to you guys. But it sucks for Yetur and Jeremy Chin. I feel like Yetur was having a great year when I compare him to himself, right? I'm not saying he is great, but he was most certainly having a fantastic
The best
year.
year he had in his career.
Absolutely, easily. And it sucks because he was starting to kind of show that second round talent that we drafted him with. Like I think that he was getting there. He was starting to make some noise, and now he's down with the hamstring injury. He's gonna miss the next 4 games. He can still close strong. Same with Jeremy Chin's 4 games. But it sucks for both of those guys, being that they got a lot to prove. On their contract years. So it's unfortunate for these guys. Dave, any thoughts on these guys?
It does. I agree with you with regards to Jeremy Cheney and YGM. It sucks that they're going to be out 4 games, considering during a contract year, considering them Gross Matos is pretty much fighting to see whether or not we're going to potentially re-sign him. So I think he needs all the time he can get with regards to that. I'm not too worried about Chen. Chen will be back. I think there's a future with him. I do think though, if he did not get hurt, he would have absolutely been traded. There's not a doubt in my mind. He would have been traded. But now we could potentially get him. We could potentially get him at a fair deal coming into the following season. But man, he was almost out of here, bro.
I think he would have been out of here too, to be honest with you. And shout out to the Eagles. They just traded for safety. And I feel like, because word on the street was that they were looking at Chin. That's the word on the street. And the rich get richer, and they were about to get rich with Jeremy Chin. But apparently they obviously Jeremy Chin is hurt, so they couldn't go for him. And they went for the Titan safety. So shout out to these guys on IR. They are definitely on IR. All right. Let's see. Moving on. So with that said, there were some roster additions. Thank goodness. We all need to. Dave, can we get a round of applause that we get Austin Corbett back?
Round of applause.
We have gotten Austin Corbett. Shout out to a round of applause, man. Woo-hoo!
That's a round of applause.
Yeah, shout out to the round of applause, because we get Austin Corbett back. He's been activated from the physically unable to perform list. Obviously, he's missed these last 6 games, and he's coming back. He's coming back, and we need him bad. Obviously, we've had Throckmorton in the words of Dave. Throckmorton having played okay, but hopefully Brady Christensen can get back to his normal self, because he was very, very solid at right guard. And
you talking about Corbin?
Corbett, yeah.
You called him Brady Christensen.
I meant Corbett. My bad. Hopefully I was reading. Sorry. Hopefully we get Corbett back, and he's back to his normal self. Because he was very good at that right guard spot, and he's gonna bolster that offensive line. So it's gonna be great getting him back. Hopefully, he gets back to his regular self. Now, we also had 2 more roster spots to fill. We agreed to terms with Brett Toth from the Eagles. Now, Dave.
Does he know how to do the tush push?
Hold on, Dave. The phone rings, right? You on the Eagles practice squad. You got it, because he's been on the Eagles practice squad, on the Eagles squad for 4 years. So he's seen some success. All right.
He got a ring.
He got a ring. Absolutely. The phone rings. GM, hey, bro, the Panthers picked up, and they want to sign you to Carolina. Dave, what is your immediate reaction going from Philadelphia to the Carolina Panthers?
Oh shit! What am I about to get myself into? I mean, but to jump up to get to a 53-man roster is not a bad thing, regardless of who it is. All jokes aside, like that's still a thing for him, because he wasn't getting no burn there. He's gonna get an opportunity in Carolina. I just find it fascinating because we already got some pretty young linemen, so I thought that the signing was interesting.
It's obvious that they could care. Anytime that an offensive lineman have went down, we immediately go sign another one. And so it's apparent that they could care less about the depth that we have. Like I'm talking about your Ricky Lees, your Nash Jensen's, your Deontay Brown. They have no faith in those guys.
Cade Mays.
Well, the Cade's been playing. Cade, they believe in Cade, but I'm talking about the other guys. They don't believe in those guys, Dave, because anytime something happens, they are immediately signing another guy. Throckmorton came in. Now Brett Toth. He's coming.
Well, he's technically a veteran, right? So that might be it too, in defense of Ricky Lee and Nash Jensen.
Yeah, but
right?
that means you don't believe in your depth. When you go out and signing other veterans, that means you don't believe in what you have.
Unless you want somebody with more of a veteran presence.
Unless that means you don't believe in what you have.
I mean, because
look at Dave caping for his guys, man.
No, him and Jensen, and is he a tackle? Is Toth a tackle or a guard?
He's an offensive lineman. They have him listed. I'm sure he's like a swing guy.
Okay, so that's the thing too, because Jensen's more of a guard, a natural guard, and Lee is more of a natural tackle. So if they prefer the swing guys, that would make sense. Because even when Wright talked about the final 53, he talked about the fact that those guys got to learn how to play multiple positions, so to speak. So
just a couple things with Toth. He is from Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Graduate of the U.S. Military Academy. He's been with the Eagles for the past 4 years. He played 17 games, had 1 start in his career. He also had a short stint with the Cardinals. So shout out to Brett Toth. Yeah. The other guy, and Dave, his name is Luigi. That's how I'm reading it. Luigi Villain.
Shout out to Super Mario Wonder, since we got a Luigi in the building.
They definitely swung that spelling. But Luigi Villain, he played at Michigan and Wake Forest. He was with the Vikings with the Vikings last year as an undrafted rookie. He's from Ottawa, Ontario, 3rd round pick in the CFL draft. He appeared in 3 games for the Vikings. All right. And so with those signings, a corresponding move was that they released Justin McCray from the practice squad. So yeah, man. So shout out to these guys that we signed. Again, they were depth plays. I think Frankie Louvu was a little bit nicked up. And I think Grugier Hill was a little bit nicked up as well. So obviously they're trying to bolster up some of that talent and improve some of the depth that we have. So I'm not mad at any of these signings, man. It is what it is. All right. Any other thoughts, Dave?
Oh, nah, man. I like the signings. Like you said, they're all depth pieces. Sorry, Brett. He went from the Eagles to the Panthers. So, those are breaks sometimes, but at least you might have an opportunity to play. But I'm happy to see Corbett back, bottom line. I'm happy to see that more than anything else, ultimately.
Yeah, man. All right. So those are the roster moves that we made. All right. So shout out to the Patreon members, patreon.com/Panther Nation PC, man. Shout out to all of the MVPs. Again, I do have a giveaway that I need to do for the Falcons ticket. I did not prepare for it, so I can't do it right now. But shout out to all of the MVPs. Shout out to all the franchise folks. And shout out to all of our free agents, man. Shout out to Andrew Estranella. He was a new Patreon member, new free agent.
Australia.
Whatever.
Don't do that, man. He's a free agent.
You're right.
He's a new free agent Patreon.
You're right. I gotta put some respect on that, man.
These guys support us. This keeps us running. Like, I can't do things like this.
I told y'all.
If you guys don't support. So I'm thankful. So we appreciate all our patrons.
Shout out to all the Patreon members, man. If you want to join, shout out to Grandizer dropping all the links in the chat. So if you want to support us, man, any support is appreciated. You can join as low as $3 per month. We appreciate that. We appreciate all the support. All right. Dave, real quick on Underdog Fantasy.
So now NBA season is approaching. You guys can start utilizing and doing your over-unders, your pick'ems, your higher lowers with Wemby or Big Vic, the guy from the Spurs. Or you can go ahead and put your numbers in, put your higher and lowers for some of the guys from the Celtics, like your Jaylen Browns and your Jason Tatums. And we still have NFL season going on right now. So go to underdogfantasy.com and use the promo code PNP when you do. They're still doing a deposit match up to $500. And now they have this thing called Scorchers, where you can potentially win 100 times your money. $20 turns to $2,000. So go to underdogfantasy.com and use the promo code PNP.
Shout out to Underdog Fantasy, man. All right, so fixing the Panthers. This is what we're about to get into for the next 45 minutes. We're going to just kind of shoot off some ideas on how we think the Panthers should navigate moving forward. All right, so Dave likes to live in the past, and we're going to move on to the future because that's all we can do at this point. Okay, so I have a little bit of a plan. We're going to toss around some ideas, and yeah, we should all come together, and hopefully the Panthers follow this plan because they didn't follow my last plan when I said we should have kept Teddy Bridgewater and kind of bridge our way to the next guy. They didn't follow that plan, but so hopefully they follow this plan. We'll see what happens. All right, so you got to know where you start. You got to know where you start before you know where you're going. All right, so here is the current cap situation. 2023, we got $8 million in cap space. Okay, that's not too bad. At the end of the year, we'll be able to roll that over into the next year. So as of right now, we have $58 million going into 2024. That looks like a lot of money, but based off the signings that we have to do, it's not that much. Okay, there's a lot of dead cap that we potentially will have, especially if we start cutting guys. And that's the one thing I did not add to this was I didn't go through and analyze who we should cut and keep, and I will kind of do that in another video. But I'm going to focus on those 2 years. So 2025, 2026, a little bit too far down the road. I just want to focus on 2023 and 2024 because, again, we're going to be able to free up some money, maybe with some trades and some cuts. I imagine that we'll probably get around, with a rollover, we'll probably get around $80 million in cap space. That's just a guess, when it's all said and done. But, yeah, so this is where we are, okay? Not a bad situation to be in. It's solid. It's not terrible. Okay, so the cap situation is not bad. All right, so here is a list of the 2024 free agents for the Carolina Panthers. And so I have little icons by these guys. I'm going to walk through one by one, and you can kind of, drop your opinion on these guys. So Justin Houston, if you see that little man, I got to walk. This is an early version of sign or walk. Okay, this is a very early version of sign or walk. Justin Houston, we appreciate your service, bro. But it ain't what we're looking for right here. So I would let him go. CJ Henderson, you my guy, bro, but we got to do better.
No.
I'm talking about going. I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about going into 2024. I'm not re-signing him right now. He has to have a fantastic season.
So the train currently is derailed. It's off the tracks.
No, the train is getting fixed, but it might get derailed if he don't finish the season strong. If he don't finish, even if he does, he's no more than CB3. No more than CB3. So we can do better than CJ Henderson. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I'm with
as much as I like the guy, we can do better than that. So with that said, I'm not going to break the bank for him. We can let him go. Okay. So CJ Henderson, you my guy, but we can do better. DJ Chark, we can do better.
Yeah, you got to go.
I think I like on paper, it makes sense. Speed threat, deep threat. But we can do better than DJ Chark. It's time to look past some of these guys. We can do better, okay? Frankie Louvu, he got 2 bags next to him. You got to drop the bag on Frankie Louvu. He's got to get paid. And I was looking at some numbers. It's tough to kind of predict what he's going to make because he's kind of that tweener inside, outside linebacker. My projection is he can make anywhere from 10 to 12 million per year, which is solid for him. That's a solid number for him. But it just all depends on how he views himself. And I'm sure he's going to test the market. There's no way he's going to just re-sign with us off the first contract offer. He's going to go test the market. And unfortunately, he might go somewhere else because somebody else is going to drop a bag on him.
Yeah, it sucks. So good too, man.
Yeah, he is. So Brian Burns, you got to drop the bag. It's going to be 3 bags, 3 bag fire.
That's not enough.
3 bags on your boy.
That's not enough.
It's gonna be 3 bags
5.
for your boy.
Pay
I had
him.
5 up there. Didn't look like too much, so I took it down to 3.
Yeah,
so 3 bags for Brian Burns. You got to get him paid.
Pay him.
I know some of y'all feel differently, but the defense without him is just
Gotta
it's
pay him. If all I got two words for y'all, Hassan Reddick, you got to pay this man, bro. You can't afford to have another guy that can pass rush and you let him walk. You cannot. You have to pay him. And yeah, we'll probably get a comp pick if we don't pay him. But no, 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 no. You need to pay that man. Point blank. Period.
yeah. Yeah. Marquise Haynes, sorry. Can't get
Uh,
on the field. I let him go.
I'll bring him back on
Um
a cheap deal though, like a league minimum.
yeah, it
I'll bring him
depends.
back.
Yeah, it depends what if he's gonna
That
test
would
the
be like
market
a
or not.
half
But
bag. I would give him like a half bag.
I couldn't cut it a hat.
Now, like I would like it was like I would give him like a halfback, like, yeah, man, we'll give you an offer, take it or leave it type of situation. But if you don't want to take it, then yeah, you can walk.
Yeah. Sam Franklin. Gotta keep Sam around. I think Sam is starting to show that he can play not only special teams, but he can play in a real life game. Like he can play the safety position. And so I feel like he has proven himself. I think he deserves a bag. One bag. Give him a little bag. See if he'll stay around. He could test the market as well. He's been playing okay. He hasn't been terrible. So shout out to Sam Franklin. I think he's worth worth an opportunity to stay around.
I agree.
Yetur go yeah, oh my bad. I gotta give you time to respond. My bad.
Are you good?
Yetur Gross Matos. I gotta caution because I think he could play himself into an extension, a small extension. Dave says no. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Change that to a walk. You can go in and walk. Look, I ain't trusting just 1 year, bro. You can go in and walk. It's been real. We tried, didn't work out. It's been good. Deuces. Move on. I think we can get somebody better in the draft. Now that's somebody we can place in the draft. Yeah, we can go in and walk that. We can walk on that one by. We can walk that one by. I ain't cautioning nothing with that guy. Nope. No, I'm not cautioning. We need to caution about
Man,
considering paying him. How about that? There's your caution. Nah, we good.
damn.
Uh, Unless once again, there's another one of the offer him the minimum and see if he takes it. But I'm not. I'm not. Man, nah. I think he. I don't think he. I don't think he paid with the contract. I don't think he's paid. He's played to the contract that he had as a rookie deal. So why would I pay him more than that? Keep it a buck with you. Like, why should he get a bag?
Yeah, and I think that I made this before he was on IR, so before I knew he was on IR. So
More
he
reason to
get
change
that's
that joint to
yeah,
a brother
that's
that took the
why.
walk.
Yeah, I think I would see I see if he take a small bag, half bag, and see if he'll stay around because I do think we need to bolster our defensive line. And I think there's more pieces there's a lot of like band-aids on the defensive line. Like when I talk about defense, I'm talking about defensive tackles and the two defensive ends. There's a lot of band-aids there. There's no long-term solutions. That's why I think Yetur Gross Matos could stay around. It depends how he finishes the year. He's playing well. I mean, if he kept up his pace the way he was playing, I would have gave him like a 2 or 3 year deal to see if he stay around. But anyway, Laviska Shenault. I think Laviska Shenault is not being used properly right now. I think hopefully, Thomas Brown saw enough of Deebo Samuel over there in the NFC West and kind of utilizes some of that over here. And so hopefully Laviska Shenault can play up to a new deal because I feel like he's being done a disservice here so far. We haven't been using the way what we saw in training camp is not what we see week in and week out since the season started. It's not the same. I want to see more of it. It's sprinkled in here and there, but I think Laviska Shenault could earn another contract if he stays around. Deshaun Williams, he is a call. I keep my eye on him. He knows Evero Evero's system, and so I think he could stay around. But again, no long term fixes on the defensive line. So I kind of see if we can figure it out long term without re-signing him. So he could have a walk by his name as well.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on? I skipped you on Laviska. You want to?
No, you good. No. You. If I'm not talking, you good. You can keep it rocking. We can go to JJ.
All right, hey, enough said. JJ, the GOAT, keep him around till
Gotta pay him.
until he decides he wants to walk away.
He could probably do that job till he's 50.
Facts. $1 million a year. Pay that man. Pay that man. So keeping JJ around. I think Kamu Grugier Hill has earned the right to kind of stay around. I know Shaq is still here, but we definitely need to improve the depth. I think Kamu earned that. He's been playing. He had a hell of a training camp. He's still playing well into the season, so I will keep him around. Henry Anderson, I haven't really seen him. I know he was on IR on the pup. He started on the pup, I believe. I haven't really seen him. Not really impactful, but he has some experience playing 3-4, but just haven't seen him. Jeremy Chin. So Jeremy Chin, I got a trade by his name. That's what the handshake means. See if we can figure out how to trade him. If not, I mean, I don't know. That's gonna be tough because I don't know what kind of bag are you gonna give Jeremy Chin. That's gonna be a tough contract to negotiate, bro. That's gonna be a tough one to negotiate. I think he might just walk.
Tougher than Brian Burns?
No, I don't. No, not tougher than that. I just think he's going to be it's going to be difficult because he has been put in positions to where he isn't succeeding the past couple of years. So he
might want to go. He might want to walk.
He might want to walk away. He might want to walk away because he feels like he's being misused. So I think he might be a tough sell. So I would try to trade him now. But obviously he's hurt. He's going to be very difficult to trade now that he's hurt, but maybe somebody bites. Troy Hill has been playing well. I try to keep him around. He's been playing solid enough. David Sharp, I will keep him around as well. He's an offensive tackle. I keep him around for depth purposes. ISM. I haven't, bro. Nah, I'm not doing that because I feel like this kid can play. We just haven't seen it.
You know what my argument is to go ahead and let him walk?
Special teams.
You got other guys that can do that job. One we haven't even seen yet.
Well, my counter argument to that is I think he's a good wide receiver and we haven't used it.
Does it matter if he's a good wide receiver if the coaching staff ain't willing to utilize him?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can have all the greatest wide receivers in the world, but if the coaches and the offensive staff doesn't utilize him in that role and just have him primarily as a special teamer, what's the point? Like, what's the point of having somebody that might have all the talent in the world you don't utilize him? We just had this discussion with Jeremy Chin.
I mean, fair. That's fair.
You know,
I think he's talented.
I'm not doubting his talent, but then for me, it's always about the coaching staff, right? What will the coaching staff? That's why I agree with you when you talked about Jeremy Chin might decide to walk on his own because if he feels like he's misutilized. I mean, you could probably say the same thing for Smith Marset.
Fair enough. Nick Thurman and Giovanni Ricci. That's y'all boy. Giovanni Ricci's y'all boy, bro. But I'm cool. Calvin Throckmorton. I know I said it wrong on purpose. Throckmorton, according to Dave. I'd bring him back. He's been playing well. I know he had a rough game last week, but he's been playing well for the most part. I kind of see if you want to come back for some continuity and depth. Stephon Sullivan, I will let him walk, man. So the potential is there, but we haven't seen it yet. Blackshear. So these last four guys, Blackshear, LeBron Ray, Jalen Dalton, and Mac McCain, all have exclusive rights deals. So that means we have their the rights to their. So if somebody wants to sign them, they owe us some picks. So yeah, we have rights. We have first right of refusal. So shout out to these guys. So shout out to Mac. I didn't know Mac was on an exclusive rights deal. All right. So Rare Rizzy says, Rashad, make sure he does not butcher that name, Rouget Hill. Yes. Once I found out how to say it.
You take your time with that one, bro. You don't take your time with no damn body else. You be misspelling names, mispronouncing names.
I do.
And you don't take you made sure Rouget Hill. You made sure.
Once I found out how to say it, sometimes I don't be knowing how to say these names,
but it's the pause. It's the pause before you like say Camus. And you even got an extra space in that name up there. You ain't noticed it.
I do have extra space in there. I saw it. I did see it.
Rouget Hill.
Yeah, so these are the free agents. It's not a terrible list, bro. Like I'm only pounding the table for Frankie Louvu and Brian Burns. Everybody else, I mean, there's some other contracts like Derek Brown, which we'll take a look at. But Derek Brown, I will definitely. He's going to be on the his 5th-year option, so he's not on this list technically. But he's a guy I would definitely look to extend.
We got to look at extend him.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that's the free agents. Current draft capital. Okay, current draft capital. We have our own second, our own third, our own fourth. We have San Francisco's 5th round, Tennessee's 5th round, and Arizona's 6th round pick. This is the current list of our draft picks for 2024.
But
Dave,
Arizona
any
pick is
thoughts
going to
on
be
this?
high. Arizona pick going to be high. Tennessee, yeah. San Fran's going to be at the bottom of the pool, man. We're going to have a big gap between that 4th round pick and that San Fran pick, because San Fran could be in the, at worst they're the NFC. They're going to make it to the NFC Championship game. At worst. So we gonna see. That was from the McCaffrey trade, by the way, for those who don't know.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, man. So shout out to these draft picks that we have. Again, no 1st round pick, and the way things sit right now, that 2nd round pick is almost a 1st round pick. It's sitting right at the top of the 2nd.
We're gonna have 33 or 34.
Yeah, that's the way it's looking right now. If things don't change, again, it's 7 weeks into the season. We got time to turn it around, but it's getting to that point where it's and we gotta get some dubs. All right, so this is so here's the problem. All right, so I want in this next slide we sit up here and we talk about, oh yeah, the trade for Burns, go get all these 1st round picks, go get the picks. Well, this is what we've been dealing with the past couple years with these picks that y'all speak of. Okay, so if you look at the 2021 draft, this is all picks under Scott Fitterer's watch. Not saying he made the pick. Again, we really want to credit him with the 2023 draft. The other two, maybe you can say, all right,
it might have been the rules
picks, but you can kind of walk that line with those. But the 2021, I mean, listen, J.C. Horn has been hurt and it's been disappointing.
When healthy though, he's a top 10 corner in the league. When healthy, he's a top 10 corner in the league.
The only reason why you put those games, bro.
I'm just saying, but I understand why you got the caution sign because of his injury history. But when he's healthy, he's a top 10 guy. So like,
don't matter if you ain't on the field.
I'm with you.
Don't matter. And they being real secretive with him too. We ain't heard no updates from him.
They ain't IR him yet though. Or have they? They haven't IR'd him.
They haven't. So
they didn't even give him a 4-weeker. That's the thing that's odd. Like
exactly.
That's why
they did 4-week him, and he's been out for 4 weeks.
And that's why I asked the question: how close will he be ready after the bye? Because it's like, yo, like what gives? So
yeah. So JC, disappointing. Again, when he's available, he's great. When he's not, it sucks. Terrace, he wants to get traded.
Brady Christensen, wide receiver 5.
Brady Christensen. Brady Christensen is right now on IR. He's going to miss the season. Unfortunate. Was playing well at the left guard position when he was on the field, so he gets a check mark. He's just hurt right now. Tommy Tremble has not lived up to what we thought he would be. I thought they would use him differently. It ain't it. I think we need to do better at the tight end position. Chuba, I give him a check mark. He's starting to come into his own, and I think he's living up to his, again, 4th round pick. That's a value pick. He's starting to live up to that right now. Deontay Brown was cut, brought back, so he gets kind of that. We haven't seen it, so he gets the basically the bust alert. All right, so 2022 Icky, I debated with the check mark. I think Icky's playing well enough. I debated with it, bro. I think I'm not gonna be short-sighted off a couple of games because last season he played well. He had a rough start, then he finished strong. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt this year. He's starting to play better now as well. So Icky, I'll give him the check mark so far, and we've seen worse here in Carolina from a left tackle perspective. So he gets the check mark for me. Matt Corral, not with the team. Brandon Smith, not with the team. Amari Barno, ain't seen him. Cade Mays, I mean, Cade Mays has played every now and then, but also he's a 6th round pick. I could get that one a check mark. I could have get that one a check mark, but it is what it is. But yeah, man. So that's what it is. That's what it is.
You forgot about Kalen Barnes. He ain't on the team either.
Oh, Kalen Barnes. Excuse me. Yeah, he's gone. He's not on the team. He was down in Miami somewhere. Last time I checked.
So based on the check marks, at best, if you give him K Mays, you got 4 out of 4 in the first 2 years.
4 out, a lot of picks.
Well, the 2021 draft, all them trades my man made, and he only hit on 2.
That's terrible, bro. That's not good. And so when you look at teams like the 49ers and see what they put together, when they have all those picks, man, they're hitting, bro.
They missed too because Solomon Thomas was not.
But they hit a lot.
They hit enough. They
hit a lot to kind of compensate. And when they don't hit, they're able to bring in guys that do hit. I mean, so
there's 2 first-round picks where they had big misses, and they had no business having big misses. Like the Trey Lance. I don't know what happened to balloons. I don't know who did that, but I'm thankful. Trey Lance and Solomon Thomas were some big misses.
They hit. They hit a lot. Sure. Trey Lance, they've missed, but they hit a lot. And then when they hit late,
that's when it matters because that's the foundation of your roster is those late picks. Day 3 picks is the foundation of a championship roster. Nobody ever discussed it. Like you ain't like when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, go through their roster and look where their picks are. They got undrafted free agents. They got 7-round picks, 6-round picks, 5th-round picks. Their foundations, the foundation of the Super Bowl rosters are day 3 picks. Them Patriot squads, a lot of day 3 picks. So,
yeah,
everybody not a first-round pick.
Yeah. So, in 2023, the jury's out again. Bryce Young, I think he's capable. I think he's going to be a check mark. I think Mingo has upside. I think Mingo. We putting a lot of pressure on him, especially with the other guys that your Downs. There's a lot of guys out here, Tank Dell, that are balling, and Mingo is not just yet. But I always go back to what Smitty said about Jonathan Mingo when we had our show with him. Mingo is going to be a 2 to 3 year deal. He's going to be a 2 to 3 year project, and in year 3, I'm hopeful. For me, if Mingo can be wide receiver 2, and Thielen can be in the slot, and then we could get a wide receiver 1, that's ideal to me. I think Mingo can still live up to. I think there's still time for him, so I'm not gonna kill him yet. But Mingo is he's gonna work his way there. DJ Johnson, that one is gonna be a caught. That one almost beat, man. It's early, but that ain't looking good, like a good pick at all. Chandler Zavala was looking okay. And then,
I'm gonna give Zavala some grace only because of the fact that he kind of walked into us like he was hurt. My guy was hurt for the bulk of training camp. He kind of walked into the starting job. He kind of walked into having to start. So I don't expect him to be able to like go crazy. Like I can't expect like a 4th-round pick to be out here being all world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had that one bad game, but overall he's been playing okay. Like I'm not gonna beat him up too bad.
Yep. And then Jamie Robinson rounds it out. We haven't seen him yet. Hopefully he will play now that Jamie Chin is on IR. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see him. But I think he's capable. I think he can do some good things on the field. We just have not seen it yet. So this draft class, bro, the draft, you gotta draft better. You just have to.
You gotta hit 2. Like if he hits 2, at least he'll hit as much as the 2021 draft, and at least he's a better.
He's got it, bro. He's got it. Bryce, Mingo, Zavala, and Jamie. That's good. They have to hit.
But hitting 4 out of 5 in a draft is freaking. It doesn't happen that often. So you asking for a lot. It's one thing if you only hit 2 in 20. No, I know you are. It's one thing if you only hit 2 in the 2021 draft. That's terrible. Let me keep it a buck with y'all. That's bad. The man only had 5 picks. And some of that is self-inflicted on him, too.
It's definitely self-inflicted. I was going to say, that's his fault because he traded them all away for bums.
Well, all right. Let's see. He doesn't have a 6-round
we ain't got time to go through. We ain't got time to go all the way through it. But yeah, he traded away for some bums. Sam Darnold.
But Sam Darnold was the year before that. Sam Darnold was 2022.
Some of those were for some late picks. For some future picks too. I can't remember more. I'm not gonna go through.
I mean, he had his first 5 picks in this draft at least, and I think he did some trading too. But he did trade up to get DJ Johnson, so he gave up some picks to do it.
Yeah, but now if you go back and look at this year's draft, that some of these, a lot of these late picks aren't ours. So it's a lot of movement. It's not good. It's not good. So again, we hypothetically, like we say, go get picks for Burns. But then when you look at it and see how mismanaged these drafts has been, like I don't feel like we gotta get better than drafting, bro. Like I don't know if it's the scouting, if it's Scott Fitter, or I don't know what it is. I don't
We
know who
gotta
to
we gotta
attribute it to.
hire
You
we
gotta
gotta
get better, bro.
at a minimum we gotta hire Marty Herney to just do the first round pick. Like I would bring him back just to make sure that we
Well, I
hit.
would argue that the first round picks would have been straight. JC, if he plays, he's straight.
That's
Nick, he's
true.
straight. I mean, he's gonna be straight. Bryce, we know. I think Bryce is gonna be great. So the first round pick ain't the problem. It's the later ones, bro. It's the
That case,
later ones.
I mean, Herney has hit on late picks. He has. It just doesn't happen that often. He's had
Yeah,
some
we need him to
bad
have.
ones.
If we want to make a Super Bowl run, bro, you have got to hit on these picks. Like you had to hit on some third rounders. You got to hit on some fourth rounders. You have to, bro. You have to, and it's not just about drafting talent. It's about coaching it when it gets here. Somebody asked a question in the chat. Why do some other guys hit immediately? Like and our guys are
It's
seeing
about
the
the
struggle.
scheme.
It's coaching, bro.
It's
It's
coaching.
coaching. Guys have to get put in a position to succeed, and our guys look. It appears that they're not, and they're getting. And it's about opportunity too.
So like,
Opportunity has to present itself.
and we'll use an example like and Rashad might hate me saying this, but like we take a lot of time to go through the draft stuff. And a lot of folks do, not just us, right? We go through all the rigmarole when it comes to prepping for the draft, looking at all these players, and we're looking at what they do from a talent standpoint and what they can do from a measurable, the whole nine. But but what a lot of people fail to do is focus on the scheme of that particular team for that player and whether or not they're a fit there. And I think that is something that's never really, it's not discussed enough when we have these conversations about who we want. When we don't think about, would they fit for what Frank Wright wants to do, what Evero wants to do, what Thomas Brown wants to do. So just when we go through this cycle again, because we're probably gonna start breaking down players very, very soon at this rate. Something
Yeah,
to think about.
it's happening. I'm ready. I've got some guys lined up already. Shout out to all the draft work. Those draft profile videos are starting. They're gonna start coming back here soon. I gotta find some time to start making them, but I've lined up some, and they're gonna be coming back out here really soon. So stay tuned. All right, so listen, we gotta finish. I didn't put these in order, but let me go in order. So step one, you got to become sellers, right? So we just talked about, we saw our draft history. We got to get some of that draft capital back, especially if we're in the second round and you want to potentially move up to the first. You got to get some draft capital. So Brian Burns, I put his name on the list. I personally think it's highly unlikely that we trade Brian Burns. Just my opinion. It could happen, but you got to remember the trade deadline is next Tuesday. So next Tuesday's show, we're going to be up here talking about a trade. I believe somebody's getting traded. One of these guys is getting traded, whether it's Terrace Marshall, whether it's Dante Jackson, Jeremy Chin, or Brian Burns. One of these guys is getting traded, and we're going to get some more draft capital back. This is what I project that we get back in return. Listen, I like Dante Jackson, and I know we're gonna create a gap if we let him walk. But I'm sorry that what he's getting paid, what we're getting, it ain't it. Terrace Marshall,
I don't think
he
we're gonna get.
requested a trade.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Rashad. I'm sorry for cutting you off, bro, but I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't think we're getting the fourth for Dante Jackson.
Maybe not. Maybe
No,
not.
but that's contract.
I think. Well, you don't have to pay the full. You get whoever trades for Dante Jackson
They got to
gonna
pay the
win.
base.
That's exactly. Which
but
means
we got
to
to pay
pay.
We got to pay the guarantee.
Exactly, which is why it's advantageous and why you could get a better pick because the base is low. That's why I'm saying. That's why they could get a higher pick than what we think. Because I think it's going to be depending on the team he goes to. Jeremy Chin, again, he's injured on injured reserve, so I doubt he gets moved. But weird things can happen. And Terrace Marshall, 6th, 7th round. I couldn't put a 7th because of the way the thing is set up, but 7th round pick probably get for Terry. If peanuts is probably what we're going to get for Terrace Marshall. But we got to get something. We got to get something back.
If we get a 6, I'll be stunned.
Yeah, me too.
I already said 7th at best if we're lucky. But we've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah, so I don't think Burns is going to get moved. I think if anybody gets moved off of this list, it's going to be Dante Jackson and or Terrace Marshall.
Yep.
That's what I think is going to happen.
I'm with you there.
That's what I think is going to happen. All right. So step 2, I think we got to finish strong, man. You got to finish strong. I think you got to. Here's the thing. You got to create something. You got to create some sort of attraction, right? You set up free agency. You want guys to come to your team. Nobody's going to come to Carolina if we're 2 and whatever. How many games is it?
2 and 15.
How many games is it today?
It'll be 2 and 15.
Nobody's coming here. Nobody's coming here, bro. Nobody's coming here. So we've got to get on a little bit of a streak. Hopefully, Bryce can show, hey man, we got a good thing going here. Bring some talent, attract some talent down here to Carolina. But we got to get better. We got to get better. Hopefully, they made the switch to Thomas Brown for offensive coordinator. He's going to be calling the plays. Boom. Hopefully, it puts a spark and we get things going. So, my man Purge says 80% chance we finish 2 and 15. Wow. If that happens, nobody's coming here, dog. And if they do, we're going to have to overpay them because that's how it works. Money talks. Money talks. All right. So, Dave, any thoughts on finishing strong?
No, I'm with you there, bro. It for me, it's ultimately has boiled down to this. We traded up to go get Bryce. We have to win more games. We can't give Chicago a top 5 pick. We cannot. Somebody's going to get fired if that falls that way, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. Somebody's going to get let go. I'm keeping a buck with you. Somebody's going to get let go. And that's going to create a different type of ripple effect because now then you're going to have to find a GM to deal with the coach. Unless you get rid of the coach and the GM at the same time, which I kind of don't see happening at this rate.
Yeah, so in the chat, let me know how many wins you think the Panthers are going to end with. I think we got to finish the season, and I'm not saying it's realistic.
We need to finish 5 and 12.
It got to be better than that, bro. I'm talking about
there's only 10 games left. I'm asking for 500 to close the season.
To attract the talent that we want to build this roster.
Oh, we gotta go 9 and 8. We gotta go 9 and 8. Then we can't lose more than one game.
Run the table, Dave. Let's run the table, dog.
10 and 7. But that schedule is wild. 10 and 6, excuse me. 11 and 6.
What if that happened? What if that legit happened, Dave?
I'll be happy because I think that'll be enough to win the division. 11 and 6 would be enough to win the division.
Yeah. Just saying, we got to finish strong. So, what? Yeah. So we'll see. So step 1, become sellers. Step 2, finish strong. Step 3, the Brian Burns situation got to be figured out because right now trading him now would essentially we would have egg all over our face, dog. Because you had like the past says we had those 2 first-round picks on the table from the Rams allegedly, and we rejected them. With that said, the intent is to extend them. You don't extend them, option 1, you got to franchise tag them. That's $21 million. That's just below what we reportedly offered them. So I think if that happens, I think he's going to hold out. I don't think we'll see Brian Burns next year. If we franchise tag him, I think he'll hold out. He did us a favor this year. I don't think he's going to extend that same grace next year. Option 2, you got to pay the man.
You got to pay him.
Pay the man. It's going to be what, 20, 28, 30 million? What's what you looking for?
30 million. Pay him.
Here's the deal. You got to trade him. You got to trade him by the 31st. If you don't trade him by the 31st, then you got to wait till next season, then try to trade him again. But it ain't. This situation is all jacked up. Bro. So again, I personally think what's going to happen is, they're gonna franchise tag him and try to work something out. They're gonna try to get it going. I just don't. I don't know, bro. I don't know. All right. Clell says, "Who on the 11-6 train? Tickets selling fast, bro. That train broke, bro. That ain't happening. That ain't happening, bro. That is not happening." So, Dave, any thoughts on this? Just pay him? Is what you
Pay
say?
him. It's not hard. Like I look, bro. This ain't hard. Pay him.
How much you paying him?
30. Pay him. Pay him. Like, why is this so difficult? Pay him.
They're trying to be cognizant of because
you can't.
They want.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. You need to pay him.
They want to be able to. They want to be able to surround him. They got to focus on Derrick Brown too. There's a lot of moving parts. You can't just. From their perspective, I'm just talking from a Panthers perspective. They got a lot of moving parts. They're trying to get Bryce some weapons. They don't want to put all their eggs in one basket with Brian Burns. The way the cap has been managed, again, you look at the cap, and I'm not just because it's $30 million doesn't mean it's going to be $30 million cap hit. So you can push that money to the future. They can figure it out the structure so where the cap hit is low in the first year and it's backloaded. So that's an option, but I'm trying to give you some. I'm trying to present what the Panthers could be thinking about, man. They could be trying to, save that money for other weapons. No, Dave.
Pay the man. Like, what do we talk? We could pay him and we could pay Derrick Brown. Those are two people we need to pay. We need to pay him. This is not difficult. We out here pinching pennies. You might as well have Dave Gettleman as the GM if that's the case. Might as well just Dollar Tree every damn thing. We ain't gonna pay nobody. Pay him. Pay him.
Yeah. We'll see. This is an ongoing saga that we're gonna have to keep our eyes on. If he doesn't get traded, I think it's gonna lend to us franchise tagging him in 2024. And he is not.
The price.
I can guarantee he's probably
gonna. The price has gone up. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
It's not.
It took too long. You got to pay him. Y'all talking about $25 million? Nah. You got to pay a 30. It's 30. 30.
Yeah, man. All right, so that's step 3. All right, so step 4, man. Here's step 4, bro. We offensive wise, we've got to improve the skill positions, bro. In my opinion, and I got my man Troy Franklin on the slide here. We have got to acquire a top tier wide receiver in this year's draft. There is a bunch of them. Keon Coleman. Marvin Harrison, Troy Franklin. The list goes on and on and on. We got to get one of those guys. You got to. Whatever it takes. You got to get Bryce some legit help. Somebody's going to dominate every Sunday. Somebody's can create. And I feel like there is going to be an option, maybe even in the second round, that you can get to plug in and be wide receiver 1 immediately. I firmly believe that. Troy Franklin is one of those guys. I think he's going to be a combine riser. His pro day riser. He's going to be one of those guys in the offseason. He's going to catapult into the top 20, top 15. Shout out to Troy Franklin. He's a monster, man. He's a monster. But yeah, Troy Franklin is a problem. If he fell to that second round, I would sprint to the podium to put that pick in because he could be wide receiver 1. Again, I think you got to get a legit receiving tight end threat. Bro, our tight ends ain't it. They not. Ian Thomas, not it. Tommy Tremble, love the guy, but that's not it. Hayden Hurst is cool, but I'm looking we got to have a game changer tight end. There's a couple guys in the draft I like that, Bowers is nice too. I'm not talking about there's another guy. Shout out to my guy from Florida State, Bell. He's nice too. I think we need to get a power run back. We don't have that on the roster right now. We don't have a chain mover. We need a change of pace back. We don't have that on the roster right now. And I think we got to improve the offensive line depth. I think It's this year is showing that those injuries are happening, and we don't have any depth behind it. So we got to get better there. We got to get better there. So, Dave, any thoughts on this list? Anything else that I'm missing, or you want to add to it?
Oh, nah, I completely agree. I know we need to improve the offensive line, but I think the most important thing right now is get a wide receiver one. It'd be nice to have a receiving threat at tight end, but it's a matter of whether or not we use them. So that's how I feel about it. We got to get a one. We got to get a number one wide receiver. Yeah. Yeah, we gotta get a wide receiver one bad. And I love what Adam Thielen's doing, but the reality is we gotta have somebody that's ready to take the helm on the outside. Thielen's the best slot receiver in the NFL, but we gotta have a one.
Yeah, we gotta have a one, bro. We gotta have a one. It's not there. It's not an option. Whatever it takes, bro. I will almost be willing to give up a 2025 first round pick to go get one of these guys, bro. I'm not playing like this wide receiver class is le effing jit, bro.
If it's that legit, then somebody should be there for us at 33.
Well, maybe not. If they all get picked, that's how legit it is.
Is it deep? Pause.
I think is
if it's deep, then we can just take him at 33.
I don't know if it's that.
Look, man, we out here doing hernia trades. Like, we cannot keep doing this. We gotta keep a first round pick, man. Like, if we're at 33, one of those guys will probably be there because somebody always falls, bro. Somebody always falls. Now, if you try to be picky,
that is true. That is true. Somebody does always fall.
We'll be just like what happened when we traded up to one because we wanted to get a bigger litter.
But you're right. You're right. Somebody does always fall. You're right. You're right. I guess what I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. But we got to get a wide receiver one. It's no questions asked. Like, that's non-negotiable, bro. Non-negotiable. All right. And lastly, they got to fill the gaps on defense. We got to get a cornerback. We got to get a couple of cornerbacks. Like, there's nobody opposite of JC. Dante Jackson is cool, but we got to get better there. I think this cornerback class is solid. You could probably get somebody late. We probably need to draft a couple of cornerbacks. We need a second edge rusher. So whether you get that guy in free agency or you get him in the draft, this is why hitting in the draft is so important, because the margin of error is, man, it's crazy. Like, you can't miss on these guys. We have so many needs that you can't miss. You know what I mean? And I feel like we have to follow the Eagles blueprint, right? You saw what the Eagles did when they got Jalen Hurts, and they just started pumping mad talent around. They loaded up on defense. They spent money on the defensive side. They got them weapons. You have to go all in. Pause. You got to go all in when it's time. When you have Bryce Young, you got a young quarterback. You got to go all in to surround him with talent. As far as defense, we definitely need some safety help on defense, and we need long-term help on the defensive line. So defensive end, defensive tackle, we got to figure that out because there's a bunch of band-aids at the joint right now. So I don't know, man. We got a long way to go. Dave, any thoughts on this right here?
It's bad time not have a first round pick to pick something at the litter, man. But I don't disagree. We got to fix this. Maybe we can get some of this in free agency. So
yeah, but if you're trying to go all in on Burns and these other guys, that free agency money ain't gonna be there like that.
I mean, maybe you just
got some guys you got to resign, bro.
I mean, sometimes you gotta go shop at you gotta shop at Tiffany's for your jewelry, and occasionally you'll end up at Macy's, and then sometimes you might end up at Sears or something. It all depends on the perspective of where you go get your jewelry. So we could shop in different places and still get some decent talent. And get a couple of guys on a 1-year deal just to get through this year. I mean, that's why we have Federer there, right? So we're just gonna have to figure it out. But this year we only have 5 picks, and our first pick isn't until the second round. So we got to take that into account when we start thinking about how we're going to replace all these holes. So,
yeah, it's a good point too. Yeah, depends what they do with Grugier Hill. Shout out to Jared, DK, Debo, Diggs, Hill, Cup, McLaurin aren't first round picks. We need to find better talent evaluators.
That's true.
I mean, there it is. There it is. Drops Mike. So yeah, man.
Nah, we got so many holes, man. But when we see something like this, it makes me question. I know y'all call me the past, but I mean it makes me question why we did what we did. Because we got so many holes. I mean, but we know that the teams out there were closer than what they ended up being. So it is what it is now.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to we can't with 5 picks based on all the holes you mentioned with steps 4 and 5. The expectation can't be to fix it in the draft. There's only 5. We only got 5 picks, and we've seen what happens when you let Rule / Fitterer go out there and trade up the break franchise records and trades. You only end up with two viable guys out of like 10 picks. So.
Yeah, Lamar says, word on the street, PNP is ducking the NFC South roundtable. Say it ain't so. Nah, we ain't ducking that joint.
Nah, we ain't.
We got to find the right time. And I think they said mid-season roundtable. Like, we ain't at the mid yet.
We ain't the mid yet. Plus, it looks like you wish it was the mid, the way we've been playing, but we ain't quite there. We got 2 more weeks.
Listen, I need at least one victory before I hop on the roundtable, bro. So
dog, if that's the case, we are ducking then if that's the case. Because it could be dead. Look, if we listen, there's 2 out of the we should be able to win 2 out of these next 3 games. We should. And if we don't, woo chow. I'm looking at that Indy game. That Indy game, we have to win the Indy game. No Anthony Richardson, we have to win that game.
Okay, the Houston game is a must win, in my opinion. Cage Luke Mister says Panthers getting jewelry from Claire's. Man, dang. That's crazy. But all right, hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is just an introduction to this plan. We can go into more depth and look at free agents and projected contracts. I didn't have time to do all that this go round. We can definitely do this. We can revisit this plan at the end of the season to see what's applicable, what's not applicable. But this is just a starter. Man. I think it's we got a ways to go, bro. We got a ways to go, and the Panthers, we got to do better. We got to draft better. We got to acquire better talent. But we got a long way to go. Long way to go before we turn this thing around. Coaching's got to get better. Everything. All right. So with that, I got to get ready to drop. I got some stuff I got to do. I got a meeting. So with that said, man, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, get in the comments, all that stuff, man. We're going to holler at y'all next week. I got to get out of here. We out. Peace. And shout out to Musin Muhammad, Julius Peppers, going to the Ring of Honor. Can't wait for that. Dave, what's up with your balloons, bro?
I ain't doing it. Somebody else is doing it.
Peace out, y'all. We out.
Peace.